Prepare to plunge into an abyss of somber stories, where human cruelty is revealed in its purest form. This episode is not for the faint of heart, as we will explore the darkest corners of the human soul, where suffering becomes a constant. Fusako Sano, a name that resonates with anguish and mystery. A girl of only 9 years old, disappeared in broad daylight, swallowed by the void of incomprehension. On November 13, 1990, her life was abruptly interrupted, and silence became her prison. The relentless search, the hope that fades away, time that drags on like an endless nightmare. What happened to Fusako? What dark secrets lie hidden behind this disappearance? In this episode, we will unravel the mysteries surrounding the case of Fusako Sano, diving into the depths of human evil and exploring the limits of sanity. Prepare to question your beliefs, to feel the weight of injustice, and to confront the darkest face of our reality. Questions that still echo in the darkness. What led to the disappearance of Fusako Sano? What dark secrets are hidden behind this case? How can human evil reach such cruelty? Let's unravel this sad and somber story together. Hello everyone, welcome to the True Crime Files Investigations channel. If you are a lover of real criminal stories, get ready for an exciting marathon. Every week, we will explore shocking and remarkable cases, the most complex and intriguing ones, with an in-depth analysis of the details and motivations behind each event, which leads us to question human nature. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and ensure you're always up to date with our exclusive content. Leave your like to strengthen our community and motivate me to bring more and more impactful and unprecedented stories. Get ready to discover the backstage of the crime world, learn about the failures of the judicial system and the stories of victims fighting for justice. Welcome to an investigative and emotional journey. I count on you on this journey. The truth is about to be revealed. So, fasten your seatbelts, because the investigation begins now. Imagine a place where peace and tranquility reign, a haven of serenity amidst the world's agitation. Sanjo, in Niigata Prefecture, Japan, was exactly like that. A city with just over 95,000 inhabitants, known for its vast rice fields, lush landscapes, and mountains perfect for skiing. A paradise of calm, surrounded by dense forests and bathed by the waters of the Sea of Japan. It was in this idyllic setting that Fusako Sano's story began. A girl of just 9 years old, whose life was abruptly interrupted on November 13, 1990. At that time, Fusako was an elementary school student, a child like so many others, with dreams and hopes. But on that day, fate traced a cruel path. Fusako had been delayed returning home, captivated by a school baseball game. In Japan, baseball is more than a sport. It's a national passion, capable of captivating crowds. And Fusako, like many Japanese children, couldn't resist the excitement of the game. Japanese culture, with its tradition of independence, allows children to return from school alone, whether on foot, by bicycle, or by public transportation. In cities like Sanjo, with very low crime rates, this practice was even more common. Neighbors often joined together to accompany children on their way back, and at some intersections, volunteers helped with the crossing. But on that day, the routine was broken. Fusako, absorbed in the game, lost the protection of the group of children returning together. And when she finally decided to go home, the streets were deserted, the silence deafening. The usual tranquility of Sanjo turned into a dark omen. Fusako's absence was noticed by her family, who then began a desperate search. The school confirmed that she had left after the game, but no one accompanied her. Despair set in. At 7:45 p.m., Fusako's mother reported the disappearance to the police, who mobilized 100 men to search the city. Commotion gripped Sanjo. The next day, 200 people joined the search, but Fusako seemed to have vanished. The police expanded the search to neighboring cities. Helicopters flew over the region, and 20,000 posters with the girl's face were spread throughout the streets. Despite the search, the void persisted. No clue, no trace that could bring answers was found. The investigation intensified. All the sex offenders in the region were interrogated, but without success. The anguish grew with each passing day. The lack of answers fueled dark theories, and the population began to speculate about a possible kidnapping by North Korea, echoing other mysterious cases. The police, without concrete leads, clung to sighting reports, but each false lead consumed time and resources. Hope faded. The number of police officers in the search decreased, and in December, the searches were officially halted. The case was filed, but the family's pain persisted. 9 years passed. 9 years of silence and uncertainty. Fusako's story became just another number in the missing persons statistics. But in January 2000, an unexpected phone call rekindled hope. Fusako had been found, alive. Incredulity seized the family. They feared the worst, that Fusako's body had been found after years of fruitless searches. But the news was even more surprising. A woman in a hospital identified herself as Fusako. The family rushed to the hospital, eager for a reunion. But the woman they found was unrecognizable, a ghost from the past. Weakened, malnourished, frightened, she could barely speak or walk. Fusako's mother did not recognize the daughter who had disappeared 9 years ago. The police, intrigued by the situation, began an investigation. The question on everyone's mind was, what had happened to Fusako? Where had she been all these years? What dark secrets were hidden behind her disappearance? After receiving medical care and a short rest, the young woman, visibly calmer and more stable, finally felt ready to share the nightmare she had lived. With a choked voice, she revealed to the authorities that she had been a victim of a kidnapping 9 years ago, when she was returning home from school. Her name was Fusako Sano. The mother, with a heavy heart, watched her reunited daughter, now medicated and clean. Amidst the pain and relief, she recognized Fusako's gaze, confirming the end of an agonizing search. The police, after collecting fingerprints, confirmed the young woman's identity, sealing the reunion with her parents. However, questions persisted. What had happened to Fusako during those 9 years? Where had she been? How was she found? The answers, laden with horror and suffering, would come to light just a few days later, when Fusako, now almost 19 years old, felt safe enough to narrate her story. In a detailed account, Fusako described the fateful day, November 13, 1990. A slow-moving car approached her, interrupting her walk. The driver, a 27-year-old man named Nobuyuki Sato, jumped out of the vehicle and approached her with a knife in hand. Under threat, he ordered her to get into the car. When the girl refused, he overpowered her and threw her into the trunk, fleeing at high speed. The action, swift and brutal, occurred in broad daylight, but without witnesses. Fusako, blindfolded and terrified, was taken to Nobuyuki's house. Through the back entrance, she was led to the kidnapper's room, where her mouth was gagged with tape, silencing her cries for help. Nobuyuki, in an attempt to hide his crimes, left again through the back door, parked the car in the garage, and then entered through the front door. The goal was to prevent his mother, who blindly obeyed his orders, from suspecting anything. The woman was forbidden from entering her son's room, under penalty of facing his fury and long arguments. In the first 3 months of her captivity, Fusako lived a private hell. With her hands and feet tied, she was forced to remain within a demarcated rectangle on the floor, a tiny space that became her world. Any attempt to escape or transgress was punished with brutal beatings. Absolute silence, immobility, and the prohibition of touching the room's door were the rules imposed by her tormentor. At 9 years old, terrified and helpless, Fusako obeyed blindly, without Nobuyuki needing to even lock the door. The fear, cultivated by constant threats with knives, weapons, and torture devices, paralyzed her. The clothes, always the same and Nobuyuki's, contrasted with the women's underwear he occasionally brought her, a disturbing detail amidst her humiliation. During 9 years of captivity, Fusako was only allowed to take one bath, always tied up and blindfolded, while Nobuyuki cleaned her in the bathtub. The room, her prison, was equipped with plastic bags for her physiological needs. To prevent the girl from being too dirty, Nobuyuki cut her hair. The only contact with the outside world was a radio, turned on sporadically, and in the last year, the television, which she watched alongside her kidnapper. The food was scarce. One meal a day, initially consisting of instant food and prepared snacks. After 6 years, a hematoma on Fusako's leg led Nobuyuki to offer her homemade food, prepared by someone she never met. Malnutrition caused her to faint frequently, and atrophy in her hands and feet made her movements difficult. I was very afraid to escape, and over the years, I ended up losing the energy to try, Fusako confessed to the police. The tortures and humiliations, indescribable in detail, contrasted with the strange absence of sexual abuse. The discovery of Fusako, after years of fruitless searches and a filed case, was a twist of fate. In January 1996, Nobuyuki's mother filed a complaint about her son's aggressiveness, but the police took no action. Between January 12th and 19th, 2,000 new requests for help were ignored. On January 28, 2000, a policeman finally listened to the woman's account, who described daily aggressions and attacks with a stun gun. A medical team was sent to the house, and upon finding Nobuyuki sleeping in his room, they went upstairs to check the situation. Upon waking, the kidnapper reacted violently, but he was subdued and sedated. In Nobuyuki's room, the team found Fusako Sano, thin and weakened, but alive. The nightmare finally had ended. The medical team, as they prepared to leave the residence, noticed a strange movement under a blanket. Upon removing it, they found a weakened young woman, who, in a whisper, asked if she could stay there. Concerned about her condition, the professionals decided to take her to the hospital. During the journey, the young woman revealed her name, revealing the identity of the girl missing since 1990. With Nobuyuki in custody, the police intensified the interrogations, seeking answers for the kidnapping and the horrors experienced by Fusako Sano. Nobuyuki confessed to the crime but vehemently denied any sexual abuse. The police, although skeptical, considered the possibility that Fusako was still traumatized or ashamed to report such crimes. Nobuyuki, in his version, claimed that he considered Fusako a friend, almost part of the family. His mother, for her part, denied knowledge of the captivity upstairs. However, the police suspected that she prepared meals for her son and Fusako, in addition to buying feminine hygiene items and underwear for the young woman. Despite the suspicions, Nobuyuki's mother was not prosecuted, possibly because she was considered a victim of her son's violence, an aggressive and abusive man, and because of her advanced age, over 70 years old. On February 10, 2000, Nobuyuki Sato, then 37 years old, was formally charged with kidnapping, assault, and unlawful imprisonment of Fusako Sano from ages 9 to 18. Nobuyuki's defense tried to claim insanity, but psychiatrists considered him fit for trial, citing his daily activities, such as betting on horse races and possessing a driver's license. Faced with the evidence, Nobuyuki pleaded guilty. Investigations revealed that Fusako was not Nobuyuki's first victim. In June 1989, he attempted to kidnap another young woman with the same profile, but was prevented by a friend of the victim and a teacher who called the police. Arrested and convicted of attempted kidnapping, Nobuyuki was released after 1 year in prison. In 1990, he found Fusako Sano alone on the street. Asked about his choice of victim, Nobuyuki replied, "She was very pretty and alone." Sentenced to 14 years in prison, he was released in 2015, at age 52. Under a new identity, he received psychiatric follow-up and controlled medication, living in a residential center for people with disabilities. He passed away in 2017, leaving behind the marks of horror from his brutal actions. Fusako, for her part, developed post-traumatic stress disorder, with recurring nightmares and difficulties socializing. Her behavior and speech regressed to a childlike state, requiring prolonged treatment. The case generated outrage due to the police's failure to include Nobuyuki's name in a sex offender registry, as well as the negligence in addressing the kidnapper's mother's requests for help. The repercussion led to the resignation of some local authorities. Despite the failures and Fusako's suffering, the case had a relatively positive outcome, with the young woman's reunion with her family after 9 years of captivity. Thank you so much for watching this story. Your presence and support are essential for me to continue creating quality content. So, if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Your subscription and comments are fundamental for me to keep bringing quality content. Leave your opinion in the comments, always with respect for the victims. and together let's build an even better community. Thank you so much for following my work, and I'll see you in the next episode.